Hello all, my name is Hitesh Damani and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, in this particular video, we will be discussing about what are lookup functions in Excel and based on the use case, when to use what, right? So as you can see, we have a e-commerce data set in front of us, which contains a product level details of a specific merchandise, right? So as we can see, we have SKU, we have product ID, category, subcategory, product type, and the group name associated to a particular product, right? So now the missing element from this particular data set is the age class. So, and without which we are unaware about that, from which age class this particular product belongs to, right? We do have that information available in the second tab of this particular spreadsheet. So if you can see, we have like SKU level information available for like all the age classes, right? So now the challenge is like we have to basically get this particular column mapped to our original data set, right? And I hope like in order to do this particular task, you guys will be aware about like if we have to create a mapping between two different data sets which are available in two different spreadsheets, we use VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP functions available in Excel, right? Now, let me just quickly show you how that particular function works. So I am typing is equal to VLOOKUP, right? Now, once you type VLOOKUP, it will ask you to provide a lookup value, right? Which in this particular case is your SKU, upon which you have to basically create that mapping. So I'm quickly providing that. And in this particular case, just to be on a safer side, you have to basically freeze it, right? So that like, let's say when you drag it for other fields, like the lookup value will not get changed, right? Now, post that, it is asking you like, which table array would you like to provide, right? Which in this particular case is your age group, right? So this particular table array we can select for this particular problem statement. Now, based on this, it's asking like which column index number which you like to provide over here, right? So in this particular table, you have to get the value of the second column, right? So in this particular case, you have to provide 2 over here since the like you wanted to get the a value of second column, right? And then you have to provide a lookup range over here, right? So you are getting two options. One is like true, second one is like false, right? What true will does is basically it will check the approximate match between your SKU, right? And based on that, it will provide you the output, right? And what false does is basically it will try to look up for the exact match within like two SKUs between two different files. And then based that, it will provide you the output, right? So in this particular case, since we need one-to-one mapping between the two SKUs, so I'm using false over here, and then you have to basically close the bracket. So as you can see, we got this particular value over here mapped to SKU. I'm dragging it down to get the results for all the for entire data set basically, right? So if you can see, uh, we got these results, right? Now, let's say I have to get this value as well, which is brand, right? So let me just quickly show you. I have brand level information available over here, but this is something which is a bit messy, right? So if you can see, I'm having brand value available in column C, and it's like SKU is available in column D, right? So I hope you guys might be aware about this, like when you have to, as and when you are using basically VLOOKUP, so like every time your field should be the value which you need to insert into your base data set, that should be at the right hand side of your lookup value, right? which means in the previous case basically, right? So in this particular case, yeah, you had to map age class, right, with SKU, so which was at the right hand side of the lookup value. So we were able to quickly provide a lookup with respect to that, right? But in this particular case, since your brand is at left hand side and your lookup value, which is like SKU, is at right hand side, let's see whether this will work with respect to VLOOKUP or not. So I'm trying to create again a VLOOKUP for this. I'm creating a lookup value over here, which is like SKU. Then I am going into this table array. So over here, what two columns I have to look up on, right? So basically in this particular data set, I need only column C and column D, right? So basically column C is nothing but brand, column D is nothing but SKU. I'm selecting both of these, right? Now the challenge is you have to provide column index, which column index you need, right? So as I have mentioned earlier, uh, basically you have to provide that particular column which you have to get mapped into your base data set, right? So in your base data set, let's say in this particular spreadsheet, you need brand value, right? And brand value is available over here in the first column, right? So basically you have to type 1 over here, and again, like, we need exact match, so I'm using false, and let's see what will happen, right? So you got my point. So like when you are using VLOOKUP, right? It's basically providing you NA, and it's not giving us like the exact match which we need, right? So let's say, can we try to get like -1 over here? So let's say if we use -1, let's see what will happen. It's not giving us the value, right? Which means it's mandatory, as in when you are using VLOOKUP, your lookup value should be at left hand side, and the value which you need to be mapped in your base data set should be at the right hand side, right? So which in this particular case is not the scenario, right? So now how to solve this particular problem, right? In order to solve this particular problem, you have another function which is known as index match function, right? Let me just quickly tell you how index match function works, and then probably we will get deep dive deeper into that particular function, right? So I'm using index over here. Now it's basically asking me the array, right? What does array means over here is like which value you wanted to get filled in into that particular column, right? So over here we need brand. Again, I'm freezing it, right? Then it will basically ask me to use match, like which matching value you would like to provide between the two data sets, right? So I'm using match over here, right? Now I have to define like on what scenario I have to basically match these two different data sets, right? So basically, let me just quickly go into my taxonomy data set. On what value we have to basically match? For sure we have to match this on SKU level only, right? So I'm selecting this entire array over here. I'm freezing it. Now for this match, you have to provide like the lookup array again, right? So over here we are selecting lookup value, and over here we are selecting like lookup array, right? So in our base data set for brand info, we can see like we have lookup value as SKU over here, right? Now we have to, again, over here it's the same thing, right? Like which kind of match we have to basically generate between two data sets. So again, it's like this time also I wanted to generate an exact match, so I'm using the second option over here, and then I will close the brackets. So if you can see, basically we got this brand value got mapped with respect to all the SKUs over here. Let me just quickly show you. So we can see all the brands got mapped with respect to this particular SKU, right? Now, let's say, so I think now the problem got solved, right? Now, let's say if I'm including an another column over here, and let's say I would need some other value or like something else from this particular data set, right? Let's say I need vendor SKU, right? So I think like it will be pretty easy now, irrespective of the position wherever the column will be in our data set, we will be able to generate this, right? So if you can see over here, I think like we can generate this index match again, right? So if you can see, we have index, right? Again, like which value you would like to provide over here. So I would like to provide vendor SKU. That will be my index value, right? And then I have to select like match over here, like what operation I have to do, right? Let me just quickly freeze it. Okay, over here also. Okay, yeah. So yeah, so for match, now again we have to do the same thing, like which kind of match we have to generate on what level. So again, I'm selecting this lookup value, the entire array, on which level we have to do, again on SKU level only, right? Which kind of match we have to generate, exact match, and I'm closing this. So if you can see, irrespective of the position, we are getting these particular mapping available over here, right? So I think like that's all from my side. I hope you guys got the difference between like VLOOKUP and index match function and when to use what, right? Uh, cool. So I hope you like this particular video. See you all in the next video. Thank you all.